Ready, Seti, and go.
God, I got that on camera.
I know, right?
Hey, it's us. We back.
We in this bitch.
What's up?
You know what? Sorry, I'm interrupting you for a moment. I bet that
we haven't
some
even
of our
told them
friends...
what they're watching yet.
Hush. I bet that... I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Welcome back to No Impulse Control.
No,
guys.
it's my line.
Why can't I say it?
I don't. Okay.
Why can't I be part of this?
Hey, what's going on? It's No Impulse Control. Okay, go ahead, Jasmine. I'm Justin. That's
Okay,
Jasmine.
so... So
whichever side she's on.
I'm on this side.
That
so,
side.
Okay, so I bet that some of our friends might be able to do... I gotta not look at you for a second while I say this. I bet that some of our friends would be able to do the Junko pose better than I can.
Oh, yeah,
I have
probably.
this weird feeling that Ash, I'm calling you out. Love you. I feel like you could do a Junko pose really well.
I don't know.
Thoughts?
You do it a little too well, in my opinion.
Okay, so like I did look it up. I'm not doing any of the right moves, but it's the fluidity. I did have a Musical.ly, Justin. I beg you to remember.
That
did
was
I tell you that?
Yeah, no, you did. That was me clearing my eyes because my eyes are full of sweat right now. But
oh well, then stop.
You're right. My bad. I just will, stop.
Grow hair so that
breathing.
You can stop the sweat from falling. Wow, that's a little dark.
You didn't take. It took you a second to get there.
Well, because I was insulting your baldness. I'm really sorry.
You know what? That's crazy to insult a man about how bald. You can see my hair. I'm not bald. Oh,
Where? Move your face in. Move your face.
Yada.
Yada. What was that?
I was winding up. I just did it fast.
Oh my god. I got 2 new kids. Sorry, this is important.
Congrats.
I look up. I'm taking attendance. Yeah, Mazel, right? I'm taking attendance. I'm doing my little clicky clack on my clicky keyboard at school.
Help.
We need to hang out in person again. I feel like the energy is really vibrating. Speaking of which, what are you doing Saturday?
I don't know.
Doth thou want to see a horror movie?
Potentially. Wild that we're doing this on camera.
My bad, homie. So, it's the only time we hang out.
None of you guys can go to this horror movie, though. Even though it'll be posted the day after.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, wait, hold up.
Horror movie, what?
Horror movie, what? So no, okay, so I focus, Jasmine. So I have 2 new kids in my classroom. I have a total of 10, which is a lot. That's our max right now. Somebody said that to me today, and I was like, isn't our max 12? And she was like, do you want it to be 12? And I was like, no.
Why would you say anything, Jasmine?
No. Because I was clarifying. So anyway, one of our new kids today, I love him right to pieces. He's so sweet. But I look up from my clicky clack attendance, and this man is full on shadow boxing. You know the 2 poles in my room?
Yeah.
This man is full on shadow boxing my poles. Which sounds weird to say out loud.
It does sound very odd.
Right. Okay. But anyway, he's coming up and he's like, boom, boom, boom. And I was like, hey, buddy, what are we doing? And then he looks at me and goes, oh, my bad, and starts punching them.
Okay, I was with Buddy until you start
Sit
punching
down,
the
homie.
wall.
Sit down. And then one of my other kids got up and started punching the other pole, and I was like, hi, sit down.
Down.
Park it. They sit next to each other too. And so I don't even know who it was, but somebody responded and was like, oh no, sorry, we were just talking about wrestling. They're boxing, actually.
There was no talking involved, actually.
First of all, no talking involved. Second of all, do not encourage them to wrestle in my classroom. There's 10 of them. I'll be outnumbered.
Wait, was this one of the adults?
Yeah. Third of all, not wrestling. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was boxing. And I don't really know the difference. It kind of all seems like the same thing to me, if I'm being really honest. They're the same. And so I know that they're different, though, like at least a little bit. Hey, so my meds have worn off and I haven't eaten, so I'm like real sparky today.
I'm gonna box you next time I see you for that statement.
You were going to anyway. Let's be
Probably.
very clear.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I want this to be on record, okay? I want this to be on record. Somebody write
Whatever
this
he's about to say
down.
is a lie.
She's a liar right now. Somebody write this down. Make sure that we all know this. She
Okay,
always
okay.
hits me first.
I would never.
You
That would be
liar!
domestic abuse. That would be abuse.
You hit me first all the time. That's why I
don't know
swing
about
back.
that.
I'm pretty sure. Did we talk about you and your adult beverages and what
No, we
happened
didn't,
there?
and we're gonna leave it be.
Interesting. You know, they say when people get a little tipsy off of their adult beverages, the true them comes out. Jasmine wanted to fight me one time when she had an adult beverage or two. To the point that I told her, I was there. I was sober, and I want this to be so clear. I was sober, and I didn't want to fight her. She comes up to me and she's like, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna? I'm gonna hit you. Like, she was in my face, and I was like, maybe
Stop,
not.
you're making me look bad.
I'm not making you look bad. This is you. But she goes, I'm gonna hit you. And I'm like, you hit me, and you're gonna end up on the floor crying. Because I was already a little frustrated with the group of them because there was a group of them that were all a little tipsy, and they were loud and obnoxious, and I didn't get to play. I didn't get to play my game of Monopoly that I wanted to play because I wanted to play a good, fair game, and they didn't play right. But that's beside the point. We're talking Jasmine right now.
Wait, no, back it up. That's not the same night. I have hit you twice then. The night in question that you're talking about, shut up. We were playing King's Cup.
No.
In the center of that yeah. We were playing King's Cup in the coffee table with all the cards and whatever, and I got sloshed because I was making my own mixed drinks and I wouldn't just drink the mics.
No, I'm talking about a different night. This is the other night. Because
I'm talking about the night that I tried to walk to my room and I hit the wall.
Yeah, I remember that night.
And then
I
was like, what the fuck? And you were like, hey man.
Yeah, I remember that too. I'm talking about the night that you actually punched me. She swung on me. I want that to be so clear. I didn't swing. I said no. She swung on me. She hit me in the arm.
Stop.
So then I said, I told you what was going to happen. And I started walking towards her with my fist up. And she goes, no! And starts running away. And she gets cornered. And she's like this. And I just I did like a 5-inch punch into her arm. And to be fair, I definitely put a little mustard on it because I was annoyed with her. And I popped her. And she goes, ah! It falls to the ground.
So I need this to also be very clear. I don't know, like, you're not hitting that hard, but for some reason...
I got bony hands.
You do. But anybody, like, I had a perma bruise, like, right here for the better part of 2 years. Because no matter where I would hit Justin, no matter where I would, like, if I lightly slapped him, whatever, he would sock me in the left arm.
Sock is wild. I think that the hit that I just explained was the hardest I've ever actually hit you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You were not even there mentally. You weren't there. You don't know.
I remember that evening.
There was also the time that she thought she was big and decided she was going to wrestle me in her kitchen. Jasmine, you want to tell them what happened? Yeah, here. Well, there.
I blocked out that memory.
I didn't, because it was a good time. She started to go, and then she said, I'm going to sit on you, and I said no, and then I...
Hey, man, I'm going to need you to, like, find different words here, because this is sounding horrible.
We were wrestling in the kitchen.
Yeah, that doesn't help. My wife was
there. Why are you going to be like that? Why are you going to do that?
Are you hearing what you're saying?
I am! I'm trying to not... Shut up!
Listen, okay. Listen.
She ended up on the ground. It was her fault, and she couldn't get up. Okay, your turn.
So when I was a wee lass, I was a biggin.
Oh, okay.
As a youth, as a young child, young Jasmine was the tallest in her class for a while. I know nobody will believe this, but I was at one point. I will find my yearbooks to prove it. I was at one point the tallest in my class. I stopped growing in like end of 6th grade, early 7th grade. I've been 5'4" since 2013. Okay. So anyway. Yeah, it does. Thank you. Thank you for validating that. So I know that at 5'2" you feel the same way. So
5'2", I look over your head. Chill.
Not by much.
I still do.
On tiptoes, maybe.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm in a weird mean mood today. So anyway,
Today,
okay. So
you're
when I was
crazy.
when I was young, Rosemary and I would fight with each other like ruthlessly, and that's how I would win because I was always bigger than her. I'd just sit on her. And she was little, and so she couldn't fight back. So I just continued that trend through adulthood. However, I had maybe forgotten that Justin was at one point doing wrestling. And I don't. I don't know if you've seen me. Well, none of you in person, really, except for you, Justin. But I'm
And
not like
Nana.
a athletic type. Banana? Oh, Nana.
And Nana.
I thought you were just like banana, and I was like, what does that mean?
Banana.
Is that a wrestling term? I don't.
Ba
I don't
ba
know.
ba ba ba
Ba
ba.
ba ba na, ba ba ba. Oh my god, the ADHD is strong on this one. So anyway, I don't know. So anyway,
I don't know what just happened
I
there.
tried to sit on Justin to win the battle, thinking that my weight would outdo it. It didn't work. So anyway,
And then she ended up on
what
the
this
ground.
sounds like. So what this sounds like actually is I'm lightly hitting or like playful, whatever, and then Justin is just beating me up because I've ended up on the ground in both of these stories.
Because you crumple under the slightest touch. I could poke you in the forehead and you'd fall down.
Okay, so this is bullying.
No! What's bullying is you hitting me every time you see me. You're like, ba 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 ba.
It's how I express my love.
Me too, but cut it out.
Oh, how are you, Justin? How are you doing?
Our spouses are. I don't hit my wife. I want that to be very clear.
Oh, I've hit Connor before accidentally. I get really excited and I do this, and I've a couple times he's been like, okay, all right, because I'm like pumped about something, and
Pumped.
pumped.
Speaking of pumped,
I'll just go kill myself. It's fine. Sorry,
Jasmine Corkins. You apologize to these listeners right now.
Guys, I'm so sorry. It's been a really long day, and I really slipped into college Jasmine for a minute.
Big time! Holy cow!
It's been so long in Minecraft.
No, no. You can't go back now.
In Minecraft, guys, in Minecraft. Okay, so pumped. Continue.
Oh, I have a soccer player who it's her senior year, and she is like, you know what? And she's talking to me. She goes, you know what, Davis? For this year, for something we're gonna do this year, just because it's my senior year and I want to do it, we're gonna bring back the old things. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna go back to like, Vines and like go back to that level of stuff, and maybe even farther back with like, the Dougie and that kind of stuff. She goes,
Oof.
are you ready? And I'm like, okay, yep. And she goes, I was graduating high school. That was less than 10 years ago.
Justin,
That's the old things. I personally don't think so, but
So I said something about Pitch Perfect today, which I don't normally do. And one of my kids did ask if it was a classic movie, and I was like, well, I mean, it's a lot of people think it's a good movie. It's not one of my favorite, whatever. They're like, no, like one of the old movies, like Popeye. And I was like, when do you think it came out? And he goes, 2012. And I said, yeah, buddy, you were born in 2012. So let's maybe dial it back a little bit, okay? And then he goes, and I quote, well, you were born in the 90s, and that was like almost 30 years ago. That's rude. I just thought that I'd bring, like, that's rude.
They're making the jokes or the comments that we would make about people who were born early 90s and 80s.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I'm injured that we are 3 years away from 30.
My back hurts because of that joke.
Yeah. You're 3 years from 30?
You could shut your mouth.
I'm 4 years from 30. Darcy's 2 years from 30.
Okay, well, we don't need to drag people into this, okay? That's rude.
But, like, I feel like our 20s went by really fast.
It's because half of our
Freaking.
freaking 20s was spent inside because of COVID.
You're so right.
And to be
You know
fair, I
what?
think that you, me, and Storm made the most of what opportunity we had
God,
in
I
that
gotta tell
freaking
you,
apartment.
there are times like so I dropped Connor off
I
at
dropped Connor.
the
Yes.
airport. I dropped no. I dropped him off at the airport. And so I'm like here at the house alone and I did something the other like I got off work yesterday and I had a dentist appointment and then I went into Westbrook and I got groceries and I was on a Discord call with the couple. I think it was maybe Kay and Jevin, I think. But I got on, I'm on my Discord call, whatever, and I'm going through and I actively thought to myself, oh, I got kind of a busy week. I think I'm gonna get some greens and maybe just some veg. Like I'm self talking. I got radishes for a snack. I like radishes, but I like got salad stuff and I got all my greens and I'm like doing, can I get this box or this box for cost wise? And I stopped and I went,
Can I get that?
oh my god! Like less than 5 years ago, I was playing Nerf War in an apartment that I was paying $300 for. And now I'm debating whether or not to get romaine or iceberg lettuce for my lunch at school in my little pink lunchbox. And whether or not I have time to stop at the gym before therapy. Who am I?
Doesn't it
I'm
suck?
not fun and spunky anymore.
I don't want to grow. I want to be a kid again. Put me back.
Like Connor called today and he's like, yeah, so I talked to Dad about the bank account. We can move some money over, like to cover.
You know
He
what's
used to call
scary?
me and be like, we're going up the mountain. We're going up Grandfather Mountain. We'll see you
Out
in
of
a week.
nowhere.
And I'm like, peace.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
At the Buckfield graduation, yeah. When he called, I was like, what do you mean? You're supposed to be coming home. Yeah.
You know what's weird?
Yeah.
I also was kind of having these thoughts as well. Not because of anything. It was literally just I was like, that's my brain. Okay. And so I thought about this. I'm like, you know how excited I used to get about getting mail? Getting snail mail was one of the most exciting things ever. And that was literally just like, oh, cool, I got something on, like, my name is on this thing that was sent through the mail.
This is my piece
That's
of paper with
mine.
my name on it.
And I didn't care what it was. Now I'm like, oh, I hope I don't have mail. I really don't want the bills that are coming. Or how scary it is. Dude, so recently we've had these experiences where it's kind of scary because you get a notification from your bank saying, hey, watch out. Here it comes. Because money is a devilish thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary to me. That's so wild. It's just...
Yeah. I used to, like, in my 20s, I get the notification, like, your bank account is low, and I'm like, psh, I got $5. That can last me 2 months. And now I'm like, okay, I have $200 to spend in the next 2 weeks, and that's it.
And then somehow the 200 is already gone.
So, okay. Not to, like, for our bank account. We moved, like, $1,000 over before this weekend. Because we wanted to make sure our bank was doing technology upgrades, and, like, God forbid anything happened, we wanted to have money set aside just in case. Like, the idea was we were going to move it back because we took cash. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We moved a bunch of money over. I would have liked it to be less, but we can move it back. Well, I went on yesterday morning after the fucking technology upgrade, and it says that we spent $1,000 in between Santa's Village and Settlers Green. And I was like, I have all the receipts. No, we didn't. Most of it we spent in cash, which was like $400 in cash. Where did the rest of it go? We haven't had any bills come out. We haven't had anything. And I'm like, but also my savings is reflecting that we have more money. Like, that notification when I got, like, we were at 0 in the bank account, I was like, what do you mean we're at 0 in the bank account?
Heart drops.
Scared. Yes. Speaking of which, my heart monitor is officially off. I'm not going to show you guys, like, the whole thing, but I have, oh, you can't see that at all. It's a full rash. Yeah, it's a full, like, it's so itchy. I'm allergic to the adhesive, fun fact. I peeled off the thing, which was so gross, but I peeled off the thing and it was like a full heart monitor shaped rash. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, my heart was like pounding in my chest when I saw that. And like rent hasn't come out yet. And like all these things. I was not worried about this 5 years ago. When Mike, our landlord, would call and be like, hey, you haven't paid rent. I'd be like, hold on, let me go work a shift.
Yeah.
And like
go work to get that money real quick.
Right, like I could work 1 day shift and have the money, like it's not
It's
now
wild.
it's yeah.
The other crazy thought, which is a good thought, but it's still like one of those
Hmm.
situations like we think of ourselves, at least I do anyways. I think of myself as still
Hmm.
very young. I look at myself and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'm still the kid that
Oh
can,
yeah.
that still has some issues that definitely has to work through them, but also is still somebody who can, go run a mile. I can go run a mile no problem. I ran a mile the other day and it was not a good time. I had to walk half of it. I was
I
like,
I can't remember the last time I willingly ran anywhere. Actually, that's not true. I ran after the kids, but like
that
a
was like
mile cut.
exercise
Yeah,
based.
I did 5 minutes on the stairmaster at the gym, and I was like, "We're done. We're done." I put it on like easy. Like I was just walking upstairs. I did the lowest level. It's like a 10 floor, or whatever.
Yeah.
I got to 10 after that 5 minutes, and I was like, "We're done. I'm all set on that."
But the
And
other
then
thought
yeah,
is like when you think about like our job specifically, not a lot of people have this connection to it, but our job
yeah,
specifically, we have people who we imagine like so we have people who are the age that sometimes I think that I still am looking
yes,
up to me
yes.
and expecting me to like take care of them and all that stuff and I'm
I
like,
had a 21-year-old ask me for
hang on
advice
a
on
second.
something, and I was like, they
I
asked me
don't
for
know.
advice. I've been asked a couple times for advice on like how to fill out paperwork, and I'm like, ooh, that's not me. Yes, it is.
Yes,
It
it
is me.
is.
The thing about it is it actually is me. Like, so we have a test that we do with the kids called the KTEA.
Mhm.
I, for a while, was the only one who had done it. I had people older than me ask me how to do it, and I was like, um, so like I'm
You're
11.
supposed to know that.
So like I'm actually a fourth grader. Don't talk to me. I'm gonna go play soccer.
Stranger
Like,
danger.
stranger danger. But like it's so I don't know. It's so weird.
It is so wild. The other thing that I had school related for this is
Mhm.
that I just met our seventh graders yesterday. We like started
Okay.
school yesterday for seventh and ninth grade, and today was the first full day for everybody. Our seventh graders look like children.
Yeah. Yeah, they
They
do be looking a
hadn't.
little bit like children.
They hadn't up until this point. This is my sixth year,
Yeah.
by the way. Seventh
Yeah.
graders officially, finally look like
Yeah.
children. And I'm like, wait a second. What's going on here? What is going on in the Matrix that's messing up? Because I
Mhm.
don't think this is what seventh graders are supposed to look like anymore. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
But they're looking like
Um
kids. And that's not a bad thing. I want that to be very clear. That's a good thing. But,
yeah, I actually I think too like a lot of the makeup trends are going back down. So
mm,
it's nice because they look like
kids?
13-year-olds and 12-year-olds again.
Yeah.
I have a couple kids who I had in my room when they were fourth graders, and they were like little tiny babies, because they're 9 and then 10. And I was like, oh my God, they still look like a baby to me because, like, they're just in my room. They haven't left.
Yeah.
But then they go up to middle school, and I saw them the other day, and I was like, oh my God, you're a man.
Jump
You have a beard.
scare.
Like, one of my kids, who is a seventh grader, has like a beard and mustache. I'm like, jeez, every time I see him, who's that adult in this classroom? Go away. Um, but he still has like the little kid voice, like not little kid, but he has like a teenager voice. So he's got this full beard that he's got to trim, but full beard, mustache, like the whole 9 yard, long hair. But he still sounds like a 12-year-old. So when he hugs me, I'm like,
I'm confused.
ah. And then I have another one whose voice like dropped all of a sudden right before he transitioned up, and he said something to me the other day, and I was like, oh my God, ah. Because I know when my kids' voices start to drop, they go upstairs. Like that's when I know it's time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things, but like it's time because they're not going to fit in. We've still got kids who talk in baby voices.
Yeah.
So like for me, I'm used to the young kids, but I work with young kids. Sometimes I see the high schoolers and I think, wow, they look young. They're only 10 years younger than me. And then I go, oh my God, they're 10 years younger?
Mm-hmm. It's
Ah!
like we're hitting our, well, we've kind of passed that mark, but we're kind of in our quarter life crisis moments is what we're at here.
Yeah, here's the thing, Justin. I've been in a quarter life crisis since I was born. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I
Yeah.
also
So
have
anyway.
like I'm also in the year. This is my official year of once this group leaves, once the senior
Mm-hmm.
group leaves, I will have reset my whole grade level.
Really?
Yeah. So this will be like a complete reset
Oh.
year, which I'm excited for and I'm very sad for because I really love
Yeah.
this class. Like this senior
Yeah.
class, they're awesome. but it's like one of those things. I'm like, oh, like I watched them from 7th grade. They were with me. We grew
Yeah.
together. Like all of these
Yeah.
things. And now I'm looking at like the juniors and the freshmen and the sophomores, and they're all growing. And I looked at my sophomores today because I have a sophomore advisory, and I stood there for a second and I was like, this is crazy. You guys are sophomores. You have 3 years.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And like we can talk like you have the early side of the spectrum, I have the late side. I get them on the way out, you get them on the way in. Like it's so
Yeah.
like the two different
When
positions, but still they're so
yeah.
very similar. It's so weird.
Well, and when they like when my kids move up to middle school, I'm like, whoa, like you're done elementary. Like I'm the last stop, and so they're kind of on their way out with me because I'm the last
Yeah.
stop for elementary, like elementary programming.
Yeah.
Because I know some schools in Maine do 5th and 6th grade at middle school, but really they're just upper elementary
Yeah,
at
they're
that.
not
Like they're
middle
not
school.
middle schoolers. They're not developmental. It's a whole thing. I have vendettas against
I
it.
also agree with those vendettas.
Thank you. I'm so glad
From a
because
health standpoint, I very much agree. I think it's
well, okay,
idiotic to have them all together.
so from a health standpoint and just like childhood development, right? I have kids who are 9 years old in my class. I also have kids who are 13
Yeah.
because I have the spectrum of 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. But we have some kids who are held back in 6th grade, so they're younger. This year, I think it's a little closer. I think everyone's between the 10 and 12. But a 10-year-old, take a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, those are two very different children.
Mm-hmm.
A 12-year-old has more than likely started the beginnings of puberty.
Or has been in it for a while.
Or has been in it for a while. Because I have a couple, actually, I mean, I'm not going to give away health information for my kids, but luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had to deal with a whole lot of that. As soon as they get upstairs, that's when they start all the puberty stuff. But my kids start developing crushes, and it's still cute at this age because it's like, oh my god, it's your first crush, and she really isn't your girlfriend, but like, we had a fake wedding last year, like all those things.
Oh my gosh.
You remember? Did you ever have that in elementary school? Did y'all ever do that?
I didn't, but okay, this is kind of.
Did you know of people who did?
I did
Did
know
nobody
of people
want to
who
marry
did.
you?
No, it wasn't that I didn't want to. I didn't want to do the marriage thing. That was weird. It was too early in my life. But I had a stuffed animal who got married to another stuffed animal, and we brought them in and had like a full on like wedding for those.
I love
stuffed
that
animals.
for you.
Yeah. So I was like, I was the father of the groom in a wedding.
Oh, I was the officiant for a lot of them because I could memorize the speech. But we did the weddings at recess kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also participated in many divorces. I was a divorce lawyer at the ripe age of 4th grade. But by 4th grade, or I guess 5th grade, I was introduced to the Warrior Cats books.
Mm.
And then nobody wanted to have me in their weddings anymore because I was playing Warrior Cats. One day I'll find my old diary that's got all of my Warrior Cats tribes in them. Have you ever read the books?
No, not a clue. Don't know what they are.
Okay, so for those of you who have read the books, you will understand the obsession because everyone who reads the book is obsessed. But
for
those of you who have not read the books,
second. You got to take a timeout for a second. Do you realize what you just did?
I asked you if you've read a book. I assume that you haven't.
Especially to a younger Justin who very much didn't read books.
That's fair. My bad, homie. But it's like if you ever do get the chance, they are really good books.
Probably still won't ever read them. I'm gonna be real with you.
I know, but I'm just saying if you ever do, they're very good. So anyway,
so there I was.
So there I was, Warrior Cats at recess. So essentially what it is it's a bunch of different clans, and they're all like there's River Clan and Thunder Clan and whatever, and they're clans of cats, and there's like a leader and then a deputy, and then there's like a medicine cat, and then there's warriors. Those are the ones that fight, obviously, and then there's the whatever.
Yes.
There's like a whole thing, and there's kittens that they train, and they have different names, and
yes,
like they all have their names, all have like a ranking to them, so you can kind of like. You can figure out who is what based on how their names work, right? So,
gotcha. Okay.
My friends, plural, multiple of them, and I would create our own clan and would pretend that we were playing warriors out at recess because there was a big rock. So our recess at Airly Road was like.
Can I guess your clan element? I'm assuming it was an element.
Not really an element, but yes, you can guess the name of my clan.
Well, you said rock, so my first guess is Rock Clan. or Earth Clan?
Actually, no.
Okay, that was not my
Mm.
original guess, but you said rock, so I had
Mm.
to like clear that up. My guess was Water Clan.
Yes. I was part of the River Clan.
River Clan. There you go.
Yes. Yes, we were a mighty clan, and you'll never guess. I actually played the healer. It's so
Huh.
crazy. Like all of my D&D characters, apparently, except for Strahd,
Except
with
for
none of us.
Strahd.
Why are none of us healers?
I don't know, and she won't give us a level, so I can't get a healing one. As a wizard, I can't do much, but like at least I can do that.
You can flirt with Irina. Poorly. Dude, I'm so stoked for tomorrow. I feel like I've so much, and I feel really bad about that. But I am so stoked to actually like start tomorrow because our last session, if I remember correctly, we
2 weeks ago.
fireballed a windmill.
Yep, that was not even part of the plan.
No, it was because someone was high on a magic
In the game.
pastry. Who's to say? Truly,
On
in
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Oh, man, I want to re-download Minecraft.
I still have it. It's one of
I
those
need to
things
get
that like
an external.
it's one of those things that is like, oh, I need to play it just this once. Give me one play, and then I'm
need
good
it.
for a year. Like,
Yeah, like I just wanna create like a little world, like a little bit of an island, and make a little pink house. I got my fill today. We have Minecraft education at school, and I'm the host, so I get to host like all of the world for the kids. And I made it creative so I can make a little cherry house. And then one of my kids came over and he was like, "Miss Corkins, I'm in your house," and I was like,
great. Explode.
No, I disabled TNT.
Yeah, I figured.
Because they kept blowing up my stuff. But he just like was putting blocks, and I was like, "So I'm actually doing a window pattern, and I need you out of my home," because I was building like a leveled, like
Yeah.
a tier, like a leveled house. It looked like a little pink birthday cake.
Nobody look
But
at the
I
bottom
was-
right. I didn't turn off my notifications, so I had a name pop up.
No one can see anything.
Yeah, they can.
Oh my god! Because you're recording.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
Hoosier, before we get off
Who'd you
of
get?
before we
Yeah.
get off
No,
the
Minecraft.
topic of school, I have a bracket that I want us to try and see.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes.
So I found this. It was literally 3 seconds before you got on, and a admin who I really enjoy a lot of his work, and I believe in a lot of his like policies and his beliefs. Is
he the one with the cart
Yes.
that doesn't have an
Yes.
office?
Yes.
I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. I don't fully agree with how he chose this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the bracket about?
So the bracket is about student consequences. What is the best student consequence?
Whipping them, obviously.
Yes, of course. With rulers and throwing erasers
No,
at them.
like-
yes.
Like you know the whip
like
guy
Indiana
from
Jones, like
long one, so you can reach the back of the class.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So I'm gonna tell you what they are, and then I'll tell you
I'm
what
sorry,
the matchups are.
I have to specify. I do not want to whip children. I don't believe in that. Someone's gonna clip that and send it to my work. Listen.
Listen,
I fully do not believe in that. It's a joke, and I'm really sorry. Okay, go.
that's the second time you've apologized in this video or in this episode.
You know, keep going.
Okay. So these are I'll tell you what they are, like the different types, and then I'll tell you who's matched up with who. So we've got after school detention, suspension,
Okay.
campus beautification, like going out and doing some beautification on campus, parent
Okay.
conference, in school suspension, removal from a class, independent lunch, so having lunch on your own, and takeaway recess. That should be 8.
Yep.
Okay. So the first round, the first one that we're going to pick between is campus beautification project. So you get in trouble, you have to go do a beautification project on campus, and independent lunch.
So I'm picking between the two of those.
Yes.
So what's the behavior?
It's just a general like There's no specific behavior. Just generally, the kid gets in trouble. What should be the consequence? I agree that it should matter on what the behavior is. I do agree with that, but
I'm a big natural consequences gal. So like if
Same.
they destroyed property, then they should have to beautify it.
Yep.
If they
are acting up in lunchroom,
if they're acting up at lunch, or if they're having a really hard time with their peers, independent lunch, I'm gonna be honest, I never believe in no recess, because recess is really beneficial for mental and physical health for kids. I do, however, think that they should have to make up work during another fun break time. But recess is a really important break. Yep. I just thought I'd put that out there.
We'll get to recess. Don't worry.
Between the two of these, though, I'm more for beautification than independent lunch.
Okay. I'm on edge. I could go either way. I think it does.
Keep in mind, two different grade ranges.
That's true.
My kids would not benefit. I mean, apart from the whatever, but like my kids would not benefit from an independent lunch. It would make them more. But beautification of like, you destroyed this, now you have to fix it would mean something, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm also like looking at it. If I'm going with a general consequence, I'm probably going to go independent lunch, because I would go with the beautification. If it has something to do with damaging property, that would be my like, okay, you damaged property, you deserve this as your consequence. That is like the natural consequence. But I personally would go independent lunch. So write down what your answer is so that you can do yours.
I got it written down.
Okay, so I put independent lunch. Okay, the next matchup, which is going to be like when they go through, it'll be against these whatever. Is suspension, so fully suspended from school, versus parent conference.
Again, what was the behavior?
Yeah, this is just general, general behavior.
Honestly, I think that a parent-teacher conference should always come before a suspension, because if you can remedy it without removing the child from school, because oftentimes kids will do behaviors in order to get suspended, so that, because it doesn't matter, right? Like you don't have to do anything. You just don't come to school for 2 days.
Right.
Like,
and unfortunately, a lot of the time, the parents at home aren't really giving a consequence. Unfortunately.
No. They're at work usually.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like kids aren't, they're not getting anything, because how can you? Your parents at work. You just get to stay home and play Xbox.
And
I think parent-teacher conference for me.
Yeah. The only argument I have going the other direction with suspension is, one, if it's bad enough, like obviously if it's a dangerous situation, kid needs to be taken out of the situation. But if it's hard to communicate or have the support of a parent, then a conference wouldn't work. So you also have to know your parents. I do agree, though, parent-teacher conference would make the most sense. Or parent-admin conference, more specifically.
Yes.
Okay, next one is after-school detention and in-school suspension.
After-school detention versus in-school suspension?
Correct.
After school. And then ISS. So I know for me personally, if I were a student who got in trouble, the after school would fuck me over. Sorry, Nana, would mess me up more than the in school, because in school I'm just gonna do the work that I like. Because for our high school, like in school suspension, you went to like the principal's office or vice principal's office maybe, but you just sat at like a desk and your teachers just brought your work to you, and that benefited me because I worked better in a quiet environment. Yeah, like I couldn't work in like a loud classroom anyway. So I think ISS for me, or in after school detention.
Okay. The only reason I go the other direction, because I would say in school suspension, is because one, I would say probably majority of the time, a kid is acting up, whether it's in a classroom or in the lunchroom or whatever, is acting up for the attention of their peers. So one, taking them out of that situation would probably make them not be too happy. And that might get the point across. But two, after school detention, you need to have somebody be there to, like, you need to have somebody be there to watch them. You need to have a parent who's going to show up after school and pick them up, because you can't just leave once your time is up. Like,
right.
And the other part, and this is coming
for
from
us,
me.
if we had our license, we could drive home after.
Oh yeah, no. I'm
After school.
talking
Oh,
like
okay.
if it's like a freshman or a sophomore, like you can't just drive home.
Heard. Got you. Yep.
But also, and this is more so as an athlete and as a coach, I one if they're getting a consequence, I fully support whatever the consequence is. I want it to be very clear that I want them to be getting consequences because they should be held to a higher standard than any other student, in my opinion, because they are student athletes. Athletes are a privilege. Being an athlete is a privilege. But I don't want them to miss out on crucial practice time because they got a detention that was after school. Even though if they deserved it, I would prefer it as a coach not to have that happen. If they could do an in-school suspension, they're still going to get a consequence from me. I want that to be so clear. If you're a player of mine and you're listening to this, don't mess up because I got a consequence waiting. But
I was going to say, Mr. Davis has more consequences than you really want to face. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's going to be so awesome if it ever happens. And I don't want it to happen, but if it does.
Yeah, don't let it happen. We had a thing for a couple of our sports. So I know when I did, I think it was volleyball, but if you got in trouble or like you didn't, whatever, you sat the next game, even if you were generally a starter.
Yep.
So that could make or break. Oh, basketball, that's what it was. It could make or break the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a strong starter who freaked up and got an after-school detention and missed practice, because I think you were allowed to miss practice for like certain things, like obviously
there's
work,
reason things
because like whatever, like you had to check in and they had other practice times, whatever. But if you were in detention or whatever, you had to sit for like half game or whatever it was, or sometimes you had to sit out of the game.
Yep.
And oftentimes it would result in a loss.
You mess up the chemistry of the team. How does the team play?
It's that's a natural consequence. You chose to be disruptive or do whatever you were doing. Your choice resulted in you missing practice because you had detention. That choice resulted in you not being able to play. And unfortunately, because of your actions, the team didn't, whatever. And that's where the only thing that I was going with the after school is like, even with sports and, math team or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at the high school level, like you're kind of independent in terms of a lot of stuff. Like if you want to do those after school things, you need to be a student, and to be a student means following directions, being safe, whatever. And if you can't do that, maybe you can't handle having an after school thing.
I will say, as a coach who has done the whole sitting your player because they had acted up and did the wrong thing, it helps a lot when you have parents support.
Yeah.
If you don't have parents support, it basically makes you look like the bad guy. If you don't have a admin to support you, it also makes you look like the bad guy, even though you're doing what is right, in my opinion, and what is right in your opinion type of thing.
Yeah.
With that, I would say in-school suspension. It would be my answer.
All right. I'll say after-school detention.
All right. Last matchup, and then it's the second round, is taking away recess or removal from a classroom or from a class. And when I say removal, I mean like take the kid out, let them, have a day, and then they'll go back the next day.
Yeah, which to me sounds like in-school suspension.
Kind of. They still go back to their next class, but it's like, it's basically, and this is something
it's missing from that
it's
class.
Missing
I got you.
Class,
okay.
Yeah. This is the method that my principal does a lot, because he and I'm not downing him for this, because I do respect it and I appreciate it when it does come down to it, but he doesn't believe that a situation is going to get resolved without a conversation. So if you just take the kid out for 10 minutes, talk to him, give him a assassin, and send the kid back, well, now there's beef already with the teacher and the student. And to be fair, teachers are not guilt-free from this. Like, they hold grudges. We might say we don't, but teachers hold grudges. I know, I am guilty of it. I try not to, but I definitely have students that I'm like, man, if you are absent today, I'm not going to be upset. Like,
listen, they're always present.
They're always present. But yeah, so
hey, quick question. What time are we at?
44. We're good.
We're doing great.
Yeah.
We're doing great. I'm just really excited that we're not like, I thought we were past an hour because of our
chat.
Spieling. There was a youth outside my window screaming. I don't know how old she is, but she is screaming at the top of her lungs. Like I can hear it through my headphones.
Wild.
Anyway, I think removal from class over no recess because, like I said, I think recess is really important. The only time that I can see recess being taken away is a safety concern, but I still think that you should give a recess, even if it's not outside. Like your brain needs breaks. If you just work, there's going to be more like refusal. I think I'm big on like even when our kids are on safety plan or out of program, they still get breaks. They just have to do them in a contained environment.
Yeah.
So I think removal from class.
I'll first state that I agree. That is my preferred method out of the two. But I will say there is something to be said about being able to say, if you keep acting up, you're going to lose recess. The idea of a kid not being able to go outside and play.
Listen.
I wouldn't do it because I don't think it's important. I think it's very important. Oh, you're froze. There you are.
I froze.
You're back. You were kind of
Wild.
like for a second. But like there's something to be said about being able to, hey, you're not going to be able to go outside and have the fun that you know you want. I don't love it, but there is a little bit of a power in that.
Yeah. I mean, no, it makes sense. The thing with the recess, like I've said that before to kids, would be like, it's your recess, guys. Especially when it's like the class right before, and I'm like, I did Tuesday this week. This is important that I tell you. We're doing clicks at the end of the day. It's about to be store. We cleaned up with plenty of time. They talked and talked and talked. And I said, all right, guys, because we do the 1, 2, 3, or not 1, 2, 3 eyes on me. We do stop, look, and listen. Never works, but anyway. So we do the stop, look, and listen. And so I'm like, all right, guys, intermediate, we need to look up. And no one's like, whatever. 1 or 2 kids, and they're like, shh, to their friends who are not listening. So I sit in my chair, and I go, and I cross one leg over. I just sat.
You know how?
And I see.
Yeah, go ahead.
I see one kid start to go quiet, and they were like, "What are you staring at?" And I'm not staring at any of them. I'm just scanning. And I've got my arms crossed, so my watch is up, and I'm just looking at the clock, nodding, and I'm not writing anything. I've got a sticky note that I'm just scribbling on. And I nod a little bit. I go back and I scribble, and they're getting quiet. And then it was like teachers were still talking, and the kids were like, stop. Like, and I said, so when I say stop, look, and listen, what are you all hearing? And the kids were like, stop, look, and listen. I said, right. So stop, look, and listen. What happened? Because we did not stop, look, or listen. We kept going. And the kids were like, I said, and I'm looking at time, and not everyone's going to get to go to store today because we couldn't stop, look, or listen. And I still got to do clicks.
And that's on y'all. Them, and you should have been like, and I'm stopping, looking at the time, and still listening to you talk.
Damn! I'm going to use that next time. That's amazing. It just, it fills me with...
You know how fun? Like, I get a little, like, there's a little bit of petty in me, if you didn't know. And
what?
Yeah, crazy, right? And I definitely have used I'll stand here and wait all day. I don't care. Wait. That is...
I told myself,
and as a student... Yeah, as a student teacher, I was like, absolutely not.
No, I'm going to respect... They're going to respect me. And now I'm like, it's your time.
Fine by me. Less work for me. I don't care.
My personal favorite right now is, hey guys, I don't need to do this. I already graduated and I know how to do writing.
Much.
When we're doing like writing stuff and they're not listening, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey guys, I'm not doing the worksheet for you because I already learned this.
Yep.
Well, that's not fair. It is fair because I already did this. I'm now teaching you. I already got my
grade.
Yeah, I already passed this class and you aren't. Let's think about that.
On day 1 of like my high school classes, I usually say, I'm not babying you anymore. And I definitely am a little blunt, but I'm like, I'm not babying you anymore. You're in high school, and I've already taken high school health 1 and health 2. I've got my degree and my diploma to show it, so I don't need to do this anymore. It is on you to get your work done.
When I had a couple kids transitioning up to middle school, and they were like, I don't have to do the work, whatever. And I was like, all right, then don't. And I didn't power struggle. I was like, you don't have to do the work. You're so right. You will lose dot. It will reflect in your clicks, but that's on you. Like,
You're making that choice. That's on you.
Sorry. I was like, that's your choice. I am going to enjoy fun day, regardless of if you're there or not, and I wish you would be there. And they were like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're transitioning to middle school. I'm not going to baby you about this. You're 13. If you don't do the work, you lose out on clicks. If you lose out on clicks, you lose out on fun day. And that's on you, homie. You're going to have to do this worksheet while everyone else is getting ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's today
choice.
or it's Friday. Like, when do you want to do this? Do you want to do this today and get it done? It's like quick, or do you want to wait till Friday when I'm not here to help you? What's your choice? Like, it's so powerful just being like, just literally dropping the rope and being like, fine. It's your choice. Like, okay. I struggled with that my first year. Like, I wanted, you know, that feeling when you're a student teacher and you're like, I'm going to get to the kids and they're going to respect me. They don't.
You wanted to be, you know those like those edits that are made where it's like Mama said it's okay and they'll flash like a bunch of different teachers.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
yeah.
the I can't remember her name, but the lady who did the TED Talk talking about, you know, got to take care of your kids, and the old teacher from Boy Meets World and Miss Frizzle and like all of those like powerful teachers that really made an impact on you. Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. We realized as we're sitting in our first year of teaching and trying to stay above water, we're like, I can't do it. I don't know what's happening.
Yep.
And now we're just like, and it works. It works though. That's the thing. It's not like we're giving up on the kids.
When kids realize that you're not going to play with it, like, there are times that I don't drop the rope because like I have to say like, no, this is not safe. Like, and I set a clear boundary. So instead of arguing, it's no, here is the rule. You follow it or we are in the choir. Like, it's very like strict.
Yeah. It's not something you came up in the moment.
Right. And there are other times that like I have to tell other adults in my room, especially ones that aren't in there all the time, like, hey, it really isn't that big of a deal. I actually don't care if they get this done.
Yeah.
Well, they have to get it done. Yeah, they do. And I definitely need them to. And they will one way or another, or they won't. And then I just reteach them over and over again until they do it. And so be it, you know, like, I'm going to move on with my curriculum because I was trying so hard to make sure everybody was at 100 before I moved on. Now I make it to 80% accuracy, like as a group, and then I'll move on. And the 20%, I go back and I sit with at win time or at study hall, like we do wins. So like what I need is kind of like an RTI.
Yep. Yeah.
But I sit with them and I work through that because obviously they're not getting it. The whole group isn't working, but like, I'm a teacher and that's what I'll do. I am not going to power struggle.
You also don't have 8 other kids that are, you know, you don't want to wait for them. Like, that's the big thing.
So like, if I can help them in a one-to-one situation, it's going to benefit everybody. But I'm also not going to sit with little Jimmy and be like, you have to use the pencil the right way because he's holding it like this. Well, you have to hold it the right way.
Who cares? Why? If he can
like,
write, then who cares?
Not handwriting class. If it's handwriting class, absolutely, I'm going to make him hold it the right way. And hopefully he'll bring it over and he'll generalize. I'll remind him, make sure you're holding the pencil the right way. That's it. That's his reminder.
Yeah.
And sometimes what is the function of what I'm telling them? Am I using this as a teaching moment or am I using this for compliance?
Yeah.
I don't care if they comply. I truly don't. Because at the end of the day, they're 10. They're not ever going to comply until they realize, like, this is better for me. And they're not going to do that if I'm constantly, like, harping and harping and harping and harping at them. They're just not.
Yeah.
So instead of doing the harping and harping, I've resorted to being like, not my fun day. Yeah. I get to go regardless. I'm the teacher. Or it's not my recess. I'm going to be having lunch. You're welcome to sit in here with me if you really choose to be at a program, but I'm not playing chess with you. I'm going to eat my lunch. Or your friends are all moving on to games and you chose not to, so you have to still do your math work. Like,
it's your choice to have those conversations. Like, don't get us wrong. Like, it does.
Yeah,
but
it's not. And like, I'm saying this very callously. Yeah, it's the same thing as like when you're in college and you don't do your work, you don't get to like, you get a bad grade. Like, there were plenty of times that I chose to do things with you and Storm during COVID that I should have done my work instead. Yeah. And I reaped the benefits of going out with you guys, and I got whacked with the consequences when I had to sit. You remember the Marvel Marathon where I typed up my, like, said three whatever. I typed up an entire unit plan in, what was it, like 5 days, I think?
If that.
But it was an all semester long project. I chose not to do it, and I chose to do this like fun stuff with these guys, and I loved every minute of it. But I had to, take those
You have to take your
consequences.
lumps. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I sat and I did a Marvel marathon. Every movie I had to get a lesson plan done in movie.
Yep.
It motivated me because I also had Justin. If I left my room, go, what are you doing? Why are you done your lesson plan? Like he was on it, and I needed that accountability. But these guys are 10; they can't manage that themselves. So I am their teacher, and I have to help them through that. But like,
Yeah.
something to be said for that drop in the rope and being like, hey man, not my choice. We need to finish this bracket though.
We do.
I'm
that was
sorry.
a solid 11 minutes of us just chit chatting.
I'm so sorry.
Nothing wrong with that. I love it because it was a lot of good information.
All right, so it's beautification versus parent teacher conference. I said beautification.
Yep. I had independent lunch versus parent teacher conference.
Okay.
I would say probably independent lunch.
Okay.
Not
right.
because it's not important to have the parent teacher conference, but if you have a parent who isn't able to get to the school, you have a parent who's not really active in replying, it's hard to set up those plans.
Absolutely.
But I would go independent lunch on that one. And then I had in-school suspension and removal from class. I would probably go with, and it goes to the how intense is this thing? What did they do?
Right.
But I'd probably, if we're going just a basic blanket, I'd probably go with removal from class because then you can have a conversation with them outside of the classroom.
I had after school detention versus removal from class, and I said removal from class as well.
All right. So I have independent lunch versus removal from class. What is the best way of doing a good generalized consequence? In my opinion, I would say removal from class because, again, you can take them out of the situation that they might be acting up in and going for attention or whatever it might be, and you can have a conversation with them outside of the classroom when they don't have their buddies watching or whatever they're trying to get the attention for, if it's attention.
The negative attention, yeah.
Right. So I would go with
any attention's good attention.
Right. The only issue I have with removal from class is that it's not a lasting thing. It's a after, like, yes, if you get removed from class early in the class period, then yeah, you have a while to wait, but then you can go back later. I think if the actions kept happening, I would go to a different one. But if it's a baseline first thing done, that would be my go.
I had beautification versus removal, and I said beautification because I take beautification as also doing a repair. So like if you tore up one of my posters, you need to go to the printer to get a new one and hang it up. Or if you destroyed a pencil, you get to sharpen pencils. Like I took beautification as like repairing things too.
Yep.
But there's also been a lot of really good conversations that I've had with kids when they've done beautification because it's a less like they're not in the moment, and usually it happens a couple days later once I've like figured out a consequence kind of thing.
Yep.
But I've been able to talk to them like while they're doing the consequence of like, this doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're repairing, but like, it doesn't feel great for me to have to like find an alternative task for the class so that you can focus on cleaning. Like, how is it feeling for you? And, I've had some really good conversations. I've also had some crappy conversations. Like with all of these, it also like every kid is going to benefit from something different.
Yeah. I
have kids who the beautification, it wouldn't work for. And an after school detention would be the ticket. We don't do after school detention, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other kids who, if I took away recess,
would be really good. Like any of these could be useful. I think it just depends on the kid and the action that's happening and why the consequence is needed.
Yeah.
But I'm a big proponent of consequences are something that should be
are necessary. Your life is always going to have consequences. Whether single
it's positive or negative. I say that all the time.
Because like consequences doesn't necessarily mean something bad happens. It's just it's what happens after you do an action. It's a reaction to the action. Mm-hmm. If I pay my bills on time, my consequence is that my bills are paid and I have lights on.
Right.
If I don't pay my bills on time, my consequences are they shut off my lights.
Yep.
And I can't film this podcast.
But and this is, a little bit of a call out, but the culture that we live in, a consequence is a bad thing because consequences are a negative connotation.
Mhm.
And what I try really hard to not to use the word consequence, because sometimes kids latch onto that. I try to go with
Mhm.
reaction, or
Mhm.
the response, one or the other. Because if you go, your response to your action will be boom. And it could be like a response
Mhm.
to running a mile every day. You're gonna run a mile quicker. And I taught, like, that was a
Mhm.
soccer one that I've done before. A response to you throwing an eraser in my classroom is you get to go see Mr. Eastman and have a conversation why that was inappropriate.
Yeah, you don't get that eraser.
Or you don't get
I
the
had
eraser, yeah.
I had so this is obviously a 2-year-old isn't going to understand consequences, but I'm going to make it happen. Actually, he's 4, but we were with our nephews this weekend, and our 4-year-old nephew, who I have not shown you pictures of, by the way, remind me, so cute. Um, but we were with our nephews this weekend, and he kept throwing his stuffed Mario at me. So I took the Mario and I hit it, and I was like, "Buddy, no. When we throw, we lose.
Yep.
That's what happens when we make that choice." And he cried, and my nieces were like, "Oh my god, give it back to him. He's crying." And I was like, "No, he's gonna cry, and it's okay. He's upset. He lost his
Emotions are
toy, and
okay.
that's really yeah." And I like every time they cried, the girls would like come over and be like, "Okay, how can we fix it, baby?" And I was like, "No, they're okay." Like the littlest one, the 2-year-old, and I know she's not super, she doesn't want me to do names, whatever, on the podcast, so I won't, but
Yeah.
I'll respect her privacy there. But the 2-year-old, he was crying while we were doing a diaper change because it was hot and sticky and he had pooped and we hadn't had a chance to stop yet. Like there was a
Yeah.
lot going on. So I was changing super fast and it was fine. Like babies cry, but he was crying and one of the girls came over and was like, "Oh my god, what? Oh my god, little baby, what's wrong?" And I was like, "He's fine. It's okay. He can cry. He's upset with me because I'm wiping, and it was probably didn't feel super great." And she was like, "Well, make him stop crying because they get really like
Yeah.
upset with it. Like they don't like the noise. I don't mind. I got kids screaming at me all day long, but like trying to teach those too early on that like when you hit, I'm done playing.
Yeah.
When you throw things at me, I'm done." And I stick to it. Like I don't go back on my word.
Yeah.
If I say it's bedtime and we're going downstairs, it's bedtime and we're going downstairs. I'm not playing the game of let's try every room in the house. They're going to sit and they're going to sob and we're going to cry and it's going to be a while, but we're going to go do it because it also shows them like, "Hey buddy, this is what we're doing."
Right.
So when I tell a student like, "You threw an eraser at me. I'm sorry, but you don't get that eraser back." Like,
Yeah.
congrats, that's my eraser now. Like all those things. So
Yeah.
I'm
Where
a
can they
big
find you?
proponent for consequences. Okay, we're done now.
Yeah, we're over an hour now.
Oh my god! And they can find me over at Asminsta on all the socials. I don't know. Search it up. Sorry, my thing is on, and Connor is trying to buy Amazon stuff. They can find the show over at No Impulse Control on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. Go follow, go listen. Thank you to whoever just followed us on Instagram. Love you lots. Just got the notification a moment ago. And you can also go buy merch over at thesoccerking1239.com. Third tab over, drop down fourth wall. Merch is on the second tab for the podcast.
Get it. And me is TSK1239 or the Soccer King 1239, depending on where you're looking. Good luck. Happy hunting.
Me is.
We'll see. Me is this. Fire. Ooh-ha. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Bye, guys.